Noreen got married at the age of 13. She comes from a country where this is legal. Not from the West, not from the UK. But she married someone from the West. This gentleman, at the time of marrying Noreen, and his name was Aman. Aman married Noreen when he was 31, whilst Noreen was 13. Noreen agreed to this because her family told her that he's a good man and he will be able to offer her a better way of life and hopefully bring her over to the West and improve their circumstances. And this is not something that is uncommon in the developing world. So Noreen, without ever having seen what Aman looks like, agreed. She agreed to marry him. Now, because Aman lives in the West, it was impossible for him to be able to bring her over. For obvious reasons, she is a minor. In the West, she'd be classified and considered as a minor. So what Aman would do is every year, he would fly out to the country of residence where his wife, Noreen, 13-year-old Noreen, lived, and they would spend time together and do what man and woman would do in a typical marriage. A few years later, Noreen hits 18. Now she would be considered legal for Aman to marry, and so they file the relevant paperwork in order for Noreen to come over to the West. Noreen comes over. The problem is, throughout the entirety of her marriage thus far to Aman, she has been unattracted to him. She found him unattractive. And when asked as to what she found unattractive about him, she mentioned a number of physical characteristics, but the truth is, after digging deeper, it was quite clear that Aman gave her the ick. And when you behave in an icky manner with a woman, if you are already average looking or below average looking, that just becomes even worse. You ever heard of pretty privilege? Pretty privilege is a real thing. Men also have it as well. Better looking men can make more mistakes than less attractive men. It's an unsavory red pill reality, if you like. A bitter truth. It is what it is. And Aman was doing things to give her the ick. So she comes over to the UK. Now remember, she's from the developing world, a Muslim country no less. And she was raised in a remote area of the country that she was raised in. So there was no access to Instagram and internet and all the rest of it. It was quite a simple way of living. A passport bro's ideal wife, you would have thought. Noreen comes over to the UK and she discovers Facebook. And she downloads Facebook on her phone, and one day she's bored at home. Now she's bored, she's unhappy in her marriage, and she has Facebook. And Aman is at work at that moment in time. What do you think happens next? She sees someone she likes on Facebook, and she sends him a friend request. Harmless, she tells herself. It's not a big deal. I'm just sending him a friend request. You know, he looks like a nice bloke. Nothing serious is going to happen from this. Alex accepts the friend request. And yes, Alex is not Muslim. Noreen is Muslim. Aman is Muslim. They're a Muslim married couple. Alex is not Muslim. Alex and Noreen start talking. Harmless discussion, she tells herself. We all know why Alex is entertaining this discussion though. She's a young lady. Okay, she's already got a kid. She's 19 years old at this point. But she's young. She's attractive. She's bored. She's lonely. She's the perfect victim. She's the perfect target for me to be able to sell the dream and hopefully get something in return. One day, Alex suggests to Noreen that they meet at a local grocer's. Random place to meet. You would have thought a coffee shop, bowling. They decided to play it off, to make it more low-key so people wouldn't recognize or realize what they're doing, as if they're just bumping into each other. And they met at this grocer's and they bumped into each other. Noreen froze. Something came over her at that moment whereby she recognized that this was a turning point for her. That if she didn't dead this conversation, this relationship, and turn her back on this meeting right here and now, it was gonna go even further, and only Allah knows how deep down the dark rabbit hole she would go. Despite this realization, Noreen stepped into the grocer's, and there, lo and behold, she sees Alex. And man, Alex looks better in real life than he did on his Facebook profile. They start talking. Noreen is shy. She's only ever been with one man before. Her husband, Aman, since the age of 13 no less. It's the only man she's ever known. And yet, somehow, some way, Alex is able to incite the tingles, to get her excited, to give her those butterflies that she felt she never had with her husband, Aman. They brush hands ever so slightly, and she feels an electric shock go through her body. Nothing more happened that day. She turned around, she went straight home. But they continued talking. Now Noreen was starting to fall for Alex. She was falling in love. And they decided to meet again. The next time they met for a coffee. The time after that, they did go bowling. Until one day, they agreed to meet in a hotel. And they commit zina. She commits adultery. She steps outside of her marriage and has sex with another man whilst still married to Aman. And poor Aman, slogging his guts out, paid thousands of pounds to get her over. He's working hard to pay for the mortgage. He's working hard to pay for the bills, whilst his wife, Noreen, is getting her back blown out by Alex in a hotel room. This affair happens once. Noreen enjoyed it so much, and she's gone so far already, she tells herself that she may as well enjoy herself again. And her and Alex meet again and again and again and again and again. Until one day Noreen ends up in my email inbox, Mahdi Tijani, asking me for advice. And after narrating this whole story to me, she tells me that she is repulsed by her husband, that she forces herself to allow him to be intimate with her. And when he is intimate with her, she closes her eyes and can't wait for it to be over. She's still young. She's in her mid-20s. But they have a few kids now. It's techie. The point of me telling you this story is not for you to go, oh, she's so bad. Noreen, what a terrible woman. Or, Aman, what must he be doing wrong? He must have messed up. And whilst both of those two statements definitely carry some truth in it, Noreen, how could she? And Aman, what did you do or what did you not do for your woman to feel this way? That's not the point of this. The point of this video is twofold. Number one, gentlemen, understand that women are women wherever you go in the world. No matter what type of woman you marry or where she comes from, she is still a woman. Are the women in the West more corrupted than the women abroad? Maybe. It's up for discussion. You could make that argument. Feminism and whatnot. more quote unquote liberated, and so on. But women are women wherever you go. That's number one. Number two, bringing a woman over from a conservative country, a country that has been largely sheltered from the crap that goes on here in the West, and then bringing her over to the West, she is an unknown quantity. She may well be brilliant in the country that she came from, but the moment you bring her over to the West, you don't know how she is going to react to this newfound quote unquote freedom, because she's never tasted it. She's never had it. And therefore you don't know how she is going to react to it. So I say to you, if you are considering marrying a sister from abroad, from one of these conservative Muslim countries, you need to seriously think twice before bringing her over. And if you do bring her over, understand at least what you're signing yourself up for. Understand that the woman you married while she was over there, she may well be a completely different woman once you bring her here. And you will not know until you bring her. And therefore I tell you, if you really have to marry a woman from back home, keep her back home.